Welcome to episode 395 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Miami Heat and determining whether or not they will make the NBA playoffs in this 2021 NBA season. But before getting into that topic, question for the video, of course, who is the all-time leader in three-pointers made for the Miami Heat in their franchise history? Comment the answer below. If you do not know it, I will reveal the answer at the end, so stay tuned. But looking at the Miami Heat right now, they are 7th in the East, currently at 16-17, right below that 500 mark. However, this is a lot better from where they were just a few weeks ago, being around 11-17, not even close to reaching that 500 mark. But therefore, that was raising a lot of speculation. The Heat just made the NBA Finals, great appearance, one of the best fifth seed teams really of all time, it seemed like, and now they're really far outside of the playoffs. What's wrong with the Miami Heat? But now today they're in a much better position, and I think they will be just fine. Looking at what was wrong with the Miami Heat, a few weeks ago, Jimmy Butler was out due to COVID. Tyler Herro, there's just being too much expected out of him. They were expecting him to perform like he was in the bubble, being an amazing starter. The dude's really young, and he has a lot of talent, but I think the Miami Heat were expecting a lot out of him way too soon, and now I think he's found a great role for him right now. Currently, he's out due to injury, but I think once he's back, Miami Heat have a perfect suit for him, and where they're not expecting him to drop 25 a night or drop 30 like he did in the bubble that one time. So I think now they have a good role for Tyler Herro. They'll be good, and now that Jimmy Butler's back, they will be completely fine. Their entire roster is pretty stacked all around. They have a lot of depth. Not the best roster in the NBA by any means, but like I said, a lot of depth. I feel like a lot of their guys on that team, anyone could drop double digits, anywhere from 10 to 15 points. I mean, like anyone on their roster. Their starting lineup currently is Goran Dragic, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo. Pretty solid starting five, and then coming off the bench, you got a couple of these guys are out due to injury, but assuming they're healthy, you got Kendrick Nunn, Avery Bradley, Andre Iguodala, and of course Tyler Herro. Like I said, he's out due to injury right now. Really, any of those guys can drop double digits, and that's really good, what you want to see from an NBA team. Something that has a lot of depth, unlike the Lakers, where they have complete star power, but their depth is not completely there. Therefore, LeBron's playing 45 minutes at 35 years old. So that's one thing the Heat don't really have to worry about, is having their starting rotation always be in, or they don't stand a chance. Then having great depth is what can take them really far, and that's what will help them a lot in the NBA Finals. Pretty much anyone on that team and bench was able to shoot, and that's how they got so far. But assuming where they will end up this year, I definitely think they will make the NBA playoffs. Not sure what, I can't really predict what they'll do in the playoffs right now. I don't think they'll make the NBA Finals again. You got the powerhouse Nets, of course, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. That entire team is, to me, going to make the NBA Finals. But even outside of them, there's other teams in the East that are going to be tough to go through. The 76ers got a good thing rolling with Simmons, Danny Green, Seth Curry, Joel Embiid, Dwight Howard off the bench, and then of course you got the Bucks and Giannis always a threat. The Celtics are always a threat. The Raptors are always a threat, and of course currently you kind of have to say the Knicks are a threat right now. They're tied for 4th in the East with the Toronto Raptors. I think they're right at 500. Of 17-17. Like I said, tied with the Raptors at 4th. Got a pretty good thing going, and this is not going to be easy for the Heat to go to the NBA Finals again. Not saying it was easy last year, but I do think the road to get there is much harder now, especially with the 76ers figuring themselves out and the Brooklyn Nets being a complete new powerhouse in the NBA. This is going to be tough for the Heat to get back. In my opinion, they're going to end up being this year what we thought they would have been last year. I think the Heat will finish right around 5th seed, and I think they'll perform like a 5th seed team in the NBA. Last year they finished 5th seed and made it to the NBA Finals. That's not typically what you see in the NBA. Typically your top 3 seeds is what you really see compete to make it all the way to the NBA Finals, and then the 5th seeds, of course, they have talent. They made the playoffs. They're a 5th seed, but you don't really see them going that far. You get them maybe 1 to 2 playoff series wins, and I think that being what most 5th seeds get in the NBA playoffs, I think that's what we will actually see in the Miami Heat this year. Get around a 5th, 6th, 4th seed in the NBA playoffs. Get a playoff series win or 2, but I don't think they'll make any kind of run like they did last year. I like this team. I think they have a lot of talent. They're pretty young, got a lot of youth on that team, especially in Tyler Herro. I think he's going to develop into a really great starter for that team in time. Bam Adebayo, he's emerging to be phenomenal. I think this team has a lot of potential in the future, especially with that dog mentality and Jimmy Butler being a captain and leader of that team. I think this has a lot of potential to be a continuous playoff team in the NBA over the next few years. But right now, I think it's way too soon to make the NBA Finals. Again, playoffs, I think, is a lock. Like I said, I think they're figured out. Getting Tyler Herro situated, getting the injuries back to healthy, they will be fine. Jimmy Butler being back from COVID. They have a great coach in Erik Spoelstra. This team has a lot of talent. I think they'll make the playoffs, but NBA Finals, they will fall short. I think if they can make some moves in free agency or make maybe a trade before the deadline, this could be a serious threat in the East. But as of right now, I have them as just a solid playoff team, maybe getting 1 to 2 series wins. Depends who they match up against. If they play the Nets first round, let's say they somehow fall to 7th seed, and the Nets are the 2 seed and they play first round, that'll be a tough matchup. Or if they play the Sixers first round, that'll be a tough matchup. But I do think they could take on any of those teams, such as the Bucks, that are kind of just centered around Giannis and Giannis only. Of course, they've developed a little more with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, but I do think the Heat could handle them. The Raptors, I think they could handle them. The Knicks, I think they could handle them. Celtics would be tough. I think they can handle them. And then at the 8th seed in the NBA playoffs, it's going to pretty much be rotating to me. It'll be between the Bulls, the Pacers, the Hornets, the Hawks. Maybe if the Wizards somehow make a final push. A lot of NBA season left. Anything can happen, but I think the Heat will 100% make the playoffs. I think they'll probably be a top 6 seed for sure. I'd like to see them make it the 5th or 4th seed, but who knows? It'll definitely determine how far they go in the playoffs, the seedings. But there's no way they don't make it in my eyes. That is it for the video. But for the question of the video, the all-time leading scorer in three-pointers made for the Miami Heat is Tim Hardaway. I thought it'd be Dwayne Wade. Turned out to be Tim Hardaway. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-1.